Hey everyone, my home network is overly complicated with too many switches, too many devices and too many network cables, and what can happen is even though my network speeds should be 2.5 gig, sometimes they drop down to like just 1 gig or even 100 megabits. So that is where this product comes in, which is the FNIRSI network cable tester, and it's got loads of different features including wire tracing, continuity testing, wire sequence verification, audio monitoring, lighting function just in case you're in a cabinet and things are really dark, and also other features as well, which is going to be really useful for me because whether I'm testing a dodgy network cable or trying to debug why I'm getting slower speeds, this could be really perfect for me. And this specific one is the LPM-10A. There are different variants and we'll look at what that means in a minute, but the outside of the box is really, just nice and sleek. And then if we look at the back, you've got more details here about exactly what it's doing. So it's got built-in 300 mAh battery, it's got 2.5 inch, color screen, which is actually fairly decent, and you can adjust the backlight brightness as well. And that's actually really useful because I've had devices out there in the past where the backlight is either way too bright or there is no backlight, and both of those situations is annoying. And then you can see the weight of the product and what's in the box and everything else, and it tells you exactly what this can and can't do. And remember, we got the 10A variant, so it can do all of these things, but it's not going to be able to do things like do ping tests and IP scans and things like that. But this is more for actually testing, problems in your home network and things like that. But that's everything it does, and now we can actually look inside the box. And it comes in this nice sleek carry case, which I always like. So you can see that there. There's no branding on it or anything, you've just got the carry case. So you've got the manual there as well. We're not going to look at it too much because you can also get it from the QR code. But in this pocket, you've also got this here. So you've actually got, a cable you can plug in to test, and the obviously red and the black probes. Then you've got a USB-C to type A cable, and then you've got different devices as well. So you've got that one there, and we'll obviously look at both of them. And then you've got this, so just some headphones, but obviously you could use your own, no issues with that. And then you've also got these jacks as well. So basically you've got everything you need. So this is actually the first device, which is the receiver, and obviously you could turn it on and actually do your testing there. And then you've got your second device, which is the main thing, which has actually got the screen, and it's going to show you all the results and actually, you're going to do your testing in. So again, nice devices. They're not particularly, heavy, they're plastic as opposed to metal, but yeah, they feel good, they feel rugged. This actually has a rubber grip on it as well, so you're less likely to drop it. You can see it come on there, and it's saying, do you want Chinese or English? So yeah, my Chinese isn't that good, so I'm going to select that. And then you can see all the different options there. PoE, do you want to test that? Do you want to test the speed? Do you want to test the cable? Do you want to do a scan? So there's loads of different features here, and I'm not going to go into every single one in like tons of detail because this is shorter tech after all. But one of the things I like is this light, which I told you about, and actually it's not like super bright, but it's bright enough, in a really dark cabinet to actually lighten things up. And that's obviously on the receiver end. And then you've got, and there's other functions you can do here as well. So like NCV, if you want to detect like electrical current, you put it near a source of electrical current and it's going to start beeping. So that is quite nice. But then you've got the main transmitter as well, which obviously has, different ports depending on what you're testing. And let's start off with cable test. So I actually want to see if this cable works or not. And for this one, you've got options. You could plug this into the switch, or you could plug it into something else, in which case I'm going to do the receiver. But obviously if you were to buy a network switch, what you would do is plug that in there and plug this into the network switch and choose that option. But in this case, I'm going to choose far end, and I'm going to chuck that into the end of the transceiver. So you can see that there. So I'm going to go to far end because I've connected it to there. And then I'm actually going to test things out. And here it's gone through my cables and it said, yeah, all 8 of the actual individual pairs, or not the pairs, but all 8 of the individual wires are absolutely fine. And you can see a twisted pairs there, you've got white and green and everything else. And, it'll show that there. Whereas, if there was a problem completely, I'm just going to take that out and I'm going to try again, so let's say it's a damaged Ethernet cable in there. It's going to actually show you exactly what wires are actually broken and everything else, which is really cool. Some of these other functions you'll need to do on a network switch, I'll show that in a minute, but one of the other things you can do is a QC test, and if we were to just go in there, you can see everything's broken, but if we were to actually come in here, this is again going to test the cable. So again, I've plugged this in, to a different port this time, but then also to my receiver, and you can see there, it's actually scanning all of the individual cables, and it's telling you exactly whether the cable is working or not, and yeah, that's a really good positive sign. And now we're in my very messy networking corner, and one of the things you can do is actually just check if things have been connected properly. So if I was to plug that in there, I could go to flash, and what it'll actually do is it's going to see whether things are connected and whether it's established a connection. And obviously when it does, you start getting the flashing here. And that's actually pretty useful because not all network switches actually have the flashing to show that a connection has been established, so to have that here can be really useful. One of the other things you can do is actually test the speed of a connection, so we'll put that in there, and then we're going to go to our speed, so we're going to click that here, start the test, and it's actually going to see what connection mode is established. And you can see here, it's a full gigabit speed, full duplex, which means that actually, that's working correctly because this particular network switch is only a gigabit switch. So there you have it. This is the FNIRSI network cable tester, and it works really well. And if you're anything like me with lots of networking equipment around, then you will experience some problems. So having something like this is actually really good for actually debugging things. I'll put some links in the description in case you wanted to check out the product yourself. If you've got any questions about it though, please drop me a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button and please subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching.